Okay, looks like we're live. So yeah, welcome members of the public in attendance for this information open house meeting, and any members of the public that may be watching this on our YouTube stream. This is the information open house meeting for the proposed zoning bylaw amendment application for 28 Ridge Road South. Mike Stepien here is the applicant on the file. Mike, did you want to make any initial comments before I go through a brief presentation?
No, go ahead.
Okay, thanks. And yeah, just for the benefit of members of the public in attendance. Oh, I see we just had Joe join as well. I'm going to go through a brief presentation, and then you should have the ability to raise your virtual hand after, and I'll bring you in one by one, and then feel free to make any comments or ask any questions you may have with myself or Mike here. So I'm going to commence the presentation. Okay, Mike, so you can see that?
Yep.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, so again, welcome everybody to this information open house. This zoning bylaw amendment application proposes to rezone the subject property from residential to R2 zone to a site-specific residential to R2 zone with special provisions to permit severance of the property. One new lot is proposed with 15.03 meters of lot frontage. Oh, bear with me, I got ahead of myself. This information open house is intended to provide information on a proposed zoning bylaw amendment for 28 Ridge Road South and to receive feedback and comments from the public on the proposal. A zoning bylaw amendment is proposed to permit severance of the property. The intent is to develop single detached dwellings on the retained lot in the proposed new lot. A zoning bylaw amendment is required to permit reduced lot frontage for one of the lots and reduced lot area for both lots. The subject property is located in the Crystal Beach neighborhood of the town of Fort Erie on the corner of Ridge Road South and Thunder Bay Road. The subject property is currently vacant. The following summarizes the land uses surrounding the subject property. To the north, single detached dwellings associated with the Crystal Ridge Landing subdivision. To the south, single detached dwellings. To the east, single detached dwellings associated with the Bay Ridge Crossing Phase 3 subdivision. To the west, single detached dwellings and open space that is part of Crystal Ridge Park. The subject property is designated urban residential in the town's official plan. This land use designation permits single detached dwellings and creation of infill lots for the purposes of residential development. The subject property is currently zoned residential 2 R2 zone in the town zoning bylaw. The R2 zone requires a minimum lot frontage of 17 meters for corner lots, 15 meters for interior lots, and a minimum lot area of 510 square meters per lot. This zoning bylaw amendment application proposes to rezone the property from residential 2 R2 zone to a site-specific residential 2 R2 zone with special provisions to permit severance of the property. As illustrated in the proposal sketch above, one new lot part 2 is proposed with 15.03 meters of lot frontage and a lot area of 408.7 square meters. The retained lot part 1 is irregular in shape due to a large daylighting triangle at the corner of Ridge Road South and Thunder Bay Road. Part 2 is proposed to have 10.94 meters of lot frontage and a lot area of 425.5 square meters. If this zoning bylaw amendment is approved by council, a severance application will follow. So again, just to illustrate the site-specific zoning provisions that are being requested as part of this application, the zoning of part 1, that's the retained lot on the corner, is proposed to change from residential 2 R2 zone to a site-specific residential 2 R2 zone, and that will contain provisions to permit a reduced lot frontage to 10.94 meters from 17 meters for a corner lot. And it will also contain a provision to permit reduced lot area to 408.7 square meters from 510 square meters. The zoning of Part 2, the new lot, is proposed to change from residential 2 R2 zone to a site-specific residential 2 R2 zone to permit the following: reduced lot area to 425.5 square meters from 510 square meters. So that concludes the presentation. We'll see if any attendees have any comments. Bailey, you were in here first. I'm gonna bring you in as a panelist, so you should have a prompt to join in shortly. Oh, hi Bailey, we can see you, but I think you're muted.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. I guess basically I have a question. So this person's trying to sever this lot to put 2 single dwelling residential homes facing Ridge Road South.
That's correct.
Okay, so what about the amount of traffic? Is there any plans with anything with lights or anything with Thunder Bay Road? Like it's very congested here right now. So just at that corner, it seems like to add 2 more driveways, people coming in and out of, it just seems a little bit crazy.
Okay, yeah, thanks for the comment. Yeah, it's a 3-way stop there right now, right?
No, it's not.
Oh, just a 1-way. Or yeah,
The only
stop
stop on Thunder Bay. The 3-way stop isn't until Far Road, and that's a problem there as well.
Sorry, I'm just taking some notes. Yeah, so basically you're concerned with the addition of the driveways, the additional driveways on the ridge?
The additional driveways, the size of the lots, additional parking. I mean, you can park on Ridge Road. It's a very busy road. Nobody does. It just seems unsafe. And I just don't, overall, I mean, it's all right now residential with regular size lots. I don't understand why we need to shove 2 houses on 1 lot.
It's an oversized lot right now.
The regular shaped oversized lot. Like the first lot.
Significantly oversized. Like it's only a matter of, it's a variance, minor
I'm
variance.
looking at it right now. It's not that big. And then where would the first driveway go? Is that person backing out to Thunder Bay, or is that person backing out onto Ridge Road South?
It's set up for both to be as far from the intersection as possible. So so for part 1, the driveway would be set to be right to the south property line. So with the daylighting triangle, it's still a significant distance from the actual intersection.
Okay, I'm going to invite you to come to this intersection Monday morning when school is back in with buses and everything else, and see my frustration with the traffic and then adding 2 more additional driveways there.
Okay, I can understand your frustration, but the point is that currently it's an oversized lot. It's allowed to have residential construction with a driveway. So yes, there's 1 more lot created. So there's 1 more driveway created. And I understand if you already feel that it's an issue that, anything more would be, you wouldn't be in favor of, but according to, the size of the lot, it's minor in nature going from, sorry, Darryl, what did you say the required size lot typically is in R2? Lot area?
510 square meters.
So yeah, so we're not
You want me to
even
pull up the
20
sketch?
foot.
I could pull up the sketch if it'll assist you.
Yeah, no, I have it here, the sketch too. So that's the thing. So it's minor in nature, the lot size. And then as for all the other, like there's a minor variance because of the shape of the part one. But other than that, the setbacks all meet the zoning requirements.
But if it was an oversized lot, you wouldn't be asking for an amendment to the frontage of it. So it's
Well,
not
it's oversized now. The current lot is oversized compared to all the neighboring. If you look at a sketch, an aerial of all
What
the
about the houses across the street?
part two is going to be the same dimensions as the other lots. And then part one is just irregular in shape because of the daylight or the triangle for the intersection. It's already.
But you're asking to go from a 15-foot frontage to a 10-foot.
For the part one, but again, because it's irregular, the lot's actually much wider at the back.
Okay, well, I don't,
It's only shorter frontage because the triangle has already been accounted for.
I don't think it's necessary at all for this corner, especially with this new subdivision across the street. The amount of traffic is crazy.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Like that, I'm just saying that this is adequate. That's why I've applied, because these are adequate sized lots. Now you're concerned about traffic. Seems like that's already a concern, and I understand that, even building another house. So, the argument would have been building all along Thunder Bay, but it's a residential zone.
Yeah, just to jump in here too, sorry, Bailey. Yeah, we're obviously taking note of all your comments, so we'll be adding in some analysis in the reports to council. This is just an initial sort of meeting to sort of feel out the community to see what some of the issues will be. So we will be I'll be contacting my colleagues in infrastructure services to provide some feedback and comments on traffic and how the driveways will impact it, if they feel it will impact it. And just a note on parking, any new development is required to park on site. So they won't be parking in the road allowance. All parking will take place on the parcel itself. Just to point that out.
Okay.
Can that be guaranteed?
So if there is issues, then I can call the town?
Yep. Yeah, we have bylaw enforcement staff that can definitely look into any parking issues that may be occurring right now or in the future.
Okay, that's my only concern. I just figured there's so much development all around, we really don't need to be putting more on one lot. It seems crazy. Anyways, carry on.
Okay. Yeah. Did you have any other comments for us? Otherwise, I'll bring on one of the other panelists. And if you have further comments later, I could bring you back on too.
You can go ahead.
Okay. So I'm just going to move you back into the attendee area, and then I'm going to bring in Yasmin. I believe she was in here second. So, and then Joe, I see you in there too. I'll bring you on as well.
Sweet people.
Mm-hmm.
Told you. No.
Okay, Yasmin, I'm going to bring you on. So you should get a prompt to join as a panelist. So just click that and you'll be joining us shortly. Hi, Yasmin, we can see you. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great.
So my first question, is it a single dwelling or is it semis that are going there in these two lots?
Single detached on each lot.
But this is a corner lot. I understand you saying this lot is oversized, but like it's not oversized for a corner lot. Like what are, like you were telling the dimensions for a lot, but for a corner lot, there's different zoning. So like we wouldn't be here if if this lot was big enough.
Well, it's the point, when I say oversized, I'm not saying if it was an actual double lot, then yeah, we probably wouldn't be here. But it is an oversized lot. If you look at a.
The corner, it's corner has different like.
No, I can show you, I can pull up an aerial view of all the neighboring streets. And so just south of there, there's a corner lot that is about half the size of this lot. So the fact that it's a corner lot, the only thing is different is the setbacks or the frontage.
There's also a sidewalk that's gonna go there. Like, was it gonna end there? Like, how's that gonna work out?
Yeah, I'll check into that
On this
for
is
you.
35 meters. It's
But don't
not
forget,
fair,
that side has a
35 meters
sidewalk
for
as
a
well.
corner lot. What's that?
That side has a sidewalk as well. Like, how's that all ending up? Like, I don't understand. There's a sidewalk all along. It ends when the construction ends. How's that gonna affect? Like, it's it doesn't make sense to put two houses in that one lot over there. Well, I don't think my word's gonna matter. The town's gonna take your money and give you a permit, and that's just my voice.
I don't think that, I think that's a bit of a knock on the town in that it's not just a money grab for the town. What it is.
Oh,
is
they don't care. They're gonna take your money and give you a permit.
Well, I know they gotta take my money, but what I'm saying is that housing needs to be created too, where you have a
But
housing
this
crisis.
is one lot. Like, it
Well,
doesn't
it's one
make sense.
more,
Like,
it's one more house to be built.
pardon?
It's one more house to be built.
Well, like
there's
on a different lot,
crisis of
not right
having
next
enough
year
housing.
when we already have problems with cars flying by. This, like, there's literally, it's so bad. Like, and I really want to know what's going to happen with that sidewalk over there. How's that going to end? Like, where's it going to end?
I mean, I'm sure Daryl will take note of that, and that's going to come up with the town because right now, obviously, it's undeveloped. So when this is built, and now that the Thunder Bay homes are ending or nearing end of construction, I'm not sure what the plan is. I haven't seen the plan for the Thunder Bay homes, but I'm assuming the sidewalk's going to run through to the corner.
Yeah, so I just don't think it's gonna like fit what you're trying to do. Like, if you're building one, the house was a semi, I get it, but
when you see the lot size,
I live right next door. I see the lot every single day.
Right. Okay.
It's the same size as ours.
Because this is like, it's not that much bigger than the lot I have.
No, I could pull it up here. Actually, I got the dimensions. So your lot is approximately, measure.
And how it is, like, I don't know.
This is in feet. This is in feet, but the width of yours in feet is approximately 53 feet, whereas mine is 117 feet.
That's, yeah. The width. We're talking about, like,
The depth. You come with the depth? Because
no, the depth's not going to matter because it's deep enough. But I don't know. But don't you have to be so long? And if the sidewalk comes in, how are you gonna, like? I don't understand how you think you have room.
There's already a daylighting triangle. So as the picture in the presentation was shown, there's already a triangle accounted for to account for that corner. I don't own that triangle, so it rounds. The corner rounds so that there's proper view for traffic and adequate room for pedestrian traffic. So I don't know the plan of the city on how sidewalks are going to be done because, I mean, there's not even a sidewalk right now for you, right? In front of your house.
How you doing? What size are the houses that are going to be put on it?
Very similar, actually. Are you the lot to the south then?
It doesn't matter. We just want to know. Like,
okay. Well, I'm trying to explain that it's going to be very similar construction to the one to the south. So that's a raised bungalow and very similar construction, like to fit the area. I'm not looking to build anything.
The size of these ones are on that
there's
lot.
no way. There's no way. You can fit two
No,
houses.
according to the setbacks for R2 zoning, that's what it'll be built according to setback. So same side yards as that already exist there, same backyard, same dimensions.
They're both facing Thunder Bay.
No.
Both
Ridge
facing
Road.
ridge.
I'm sorry, I just walked in not that
Yeah.
long ago.
Both facing ridge.
Both are facing towards Ridge Road.
Right.
Like, how are these cars supposed to plow their driveway? Like, I don't think it's safe. Like,
No,
I'm
if
sorry.
you-
Like, it's,
Have you I don't know if you can put up the picture again, Daryl, of the plot, but like
Yeah,
you
did
see it there that
Jasmine, did you want me to pull up the drawing again, or?
He's asking you.
sure.
Okay,
So they're both gonna face that way, two things that way, how? Where do
He's
the
gonna-
houses fit? I'm sorry, I'm
He's
confused.
gonna show you.
so you can see my screen?
Not yet.
Oh, sorry.
okay, so if you look at part 2 is a very similar size and shape to your lot. And then, so it would be a similar situation as what you have there. And then part 1 is the driveway would run with the south lot line. So it would be far from the corner, as far as possible from the intersection. That triangle is already accounted for by the city to have an adequate corner, and the house would be set back in line or a little deeper back than the other houses to fit on that rectangle that's remaining there, you know, the biggest part of that rectangle.
So they have an odd shaped backyard then.
And it's gonna go like way ahead of our house. Like, I don't know.
No, it's not gonna go ahead. Neither are
Yeah,
going
it looks
ahead
like it
there.
is in the picture you showed me. It
No,
is.
there's no house drawn in that picture. It's just, I'm just showing you that how it would sit beside yours. It would basically be in line with yours, and the next one would be too. Like there's setbacks by the city as well for that. The front yard setback, it's all to be in line. Like this lot part 2, it's very similar to the one to the south.
Do you know what your setback is from the lot line, Yasmin?
I don't know.
Okay, well, we can look into that.
But I'm in line with my neighbors, so we're all this straight line.
Yeah, there's no reason why I wouldn't go in line with the others.
I just don't know if you go in line with us, I don't know how you're gonna put 2 houses back there. I'm sorry. But if
No,
you think you could do
But
it,
if you understand,
Town's gonna take your
yours,
money.
if yours fits on the same, it would be the same on part 2 as yours.
He's putting 2 3,800 square foot houses on there?
No, like, again, the footprint of your house, what footprint is your house? The footprint, not how much square footage you have on both levels.
I'm not understanding what you're asking me, sorry.
Okay, I'm just sorry, I'm pulling it up again here to give a rough sense of what it is here, so.
That's the corner he's talking about that he can't use.
Yeah, and
So
I don't,
this is where the driveway will be in here?
yeah, and then our whole windows on this side, all we're gonna see is this houses, because
Oh,
that's,
they're
this
gonna
is
build
not,
there
no,
eventually.
it wasn't meant to be. It's supposed to be like a back into Thunder Bay. Ridge Road was never like how it is. It's never was supposed to be at.
Okay, so your house is approximately 20 feet from the lot line. And yeah, this would be the same. There's, like, it would be in line with your house. If you look at that plot, it's not like, again, the width of your lot, 50 feet.
They're basically, so say our houses here, they're squeezing in 2 houses here, there'll be no, like, what's in between the houses? Nothing?
Well, the same as what's.
What's in between their houses? They don't have side yard or anything, like even, or like is one's
How much
obviously an
side
odd
yard?
shaped yard, right?
Yeah, but it'll be similar to the side yard that you have to your neighbor to the south.
Okay, that's fine, but their backyards will be totally different. One's obviously an odd shaped yard then, I'm
No,
assuming.
ours goes further back, so I don't know
No,
how.
theirs goes further back.
No, look here.
Oh, like this doesn't have a plot, but it'd be a similar rear yard as yours. I think the actual, yeah, you're actually, that's the only difference is the way that the lot on Thunder Bay sits is you have a little bit more depth in your backyard currently,
This is ours and that's theirs,
because it juts out a bit, the lot
or a
dimensions.
bigger lot.
Yeah, but it's
And
gonna be.
just to
over
pipe
five
in quickly,
houses.
sorry.
Well, that was probably gonna happen anyways.
No.
So with these lot sizes, the maximum lot coverage, so the footprint of any new dwellings on these two proposed lots,
Who is
will
it?
be 30%. Side yards would be 4 feet if it's a one-story dwelling and 5 feet if it's anything above a one-story dwelling. Just to give you an idea of sizing. And I might stop sharing my screen. Just give me 1 sec. Okay. Yeah, so Yasmin, did you have any other comments, or did you want me to move on to the next?
No,
one?
I said what I needed to say. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, just to point it out too, this is very early on, and this has to be approved by council, and we'll be having another public meeting as well. So I'll be reaching out to you and everybody else just to let you know when the next public meeting is taking place.
You muted?
I am now.
That guy's a real estate broker on the bottom, huh?
Who's here?
It was my dad dropping off Fruity Pebbles. They went to the States or something.
Okay, Joe, I'll be bringing you on next as a panelist. So you'll be getting a prompt, just hit okay, and then we'll be able to bring you in.
Okay, quick question. If there was a single lot, would the road or the driveway exit be on Thunder Bay Road as it currently stands?
I don't think so. I'm just looking at the drawing here. We do have a 1 foot reserve along the frontages, like the daylighting triangle on the frontage along Thunder Bay Road. So even as it stands today, if a house were to build on it, the driveway connection would be to Ridge Road South. And I'll double check that with our engineering staff, but we do have a 0.3 meter reserve, as we call it, along the Thunder Bay Road. And usually the intent of that is to block any driveway access.
Okay, my next question is once the 2 houses are built, will there be any restrictions on fencing? For if I'm traveling on Ridge Road and I'm turning right on Thunder Bay, privacy fence along their backyard, I will be able to see.
Like in terms of like blocking views or just providing
Yes.
screening to existing housing?
It would, if it was a 6-foot privacy screen or fencing along the back lot line, would that impede the visibility of seeing down Thunder Bay Road?
No, I don't think so. So we do have a fence bylaw that regulates all that stuff, and we would make sure that any fencing has adequate. The heights are limited the closer you get to an intersection, so it doesn't impede visibility.
Okay.
So if a
Is
fence were
the-
put up, we would make sure that it meets our fence bylaw requirements.
As residents, would we have a voice to determine whether it was a single story or a 2-story buildings going in those lots?
Yeah, certainly. If you want to provide those comments, that's something we can provide to council, and that's something council can direct staff to implement as part of the zoning bylaw.
Okay, that's it for me.
All right, thanks, Joe. So no other questions?
No more.
Okay. So I'm gonna put you back in the attendee area and just see if anybody else has any final thoughts or if we had anybody else join in. Oh, then I see Bailey has her hand raised. I'm gonna just bring her in again, Mike.
Hi,
Hi Bailey, you're back in. We can see you and we can hear you.
perfect. I just wanted to know what the house to land, like the existing property ratio is. Like is the house gonna be the entire lot, basically?
Yeah, so right
Like,
now,
don't you need like a percentage of green space, right?
yeah, so the
So
R2
where are we
zoning,
with that?
yeah, the R2 zoning for lots of this proposal, maximum lot coverage is 30%. So 70% of the lot would have to be essentially open space.
So is that this case? So 30% is green space?
Yeah, sorry, 70% would be green space or driveway. 30% would be the dwelling, the footprint on the land.
Okay, and this person's able to keep that ratio with these homes?
Yeah, Mike, did you want to make any comments to that?
Yeah, I'm just doing a quick calculation here. 1 second.
Oh, sure.
Mike, you mentioned about the affordable housing, or sorry, the lack of housing in the area. I don't think it's houses that are going to be put on this lot that would be helping the lack of houses per se. It's the price range of housing.
Yeah, but a big reason for the price of housing is the lack of supply. That's you know, what I understand from federal, provincial on down is the goal is to create more housing and to do so in the urban areas. So that's all I'm saying. It's an urban area. It's the lots are a little bit undersized, but they're very close, and therefore, in my take on is minor variance in nature. And then even example, so a lot part 2 there of 408 meters squared. Sorry, I work in square feet often, so I converted it. But the 30% of that is a 1,320 square foot house, right? So the footprint can be
One level or 2 levels?
the footprint. So the footprint can be 1,300 square feet, right? So that's a typical, building footprint, and that's meeting the requirements of R2 zoning.
I know, but I'm asking you, is it going to be 1 story or 2 story?
I haven't determined that, but even if it was 2-story, it's in line with what's being built around, to the east. And
So what about surrounding house values, like the neighboring house that's now going to have a house directly on top of them and everybody else around them? But
that happens all the time where someone chooses to have a raised bungalow here, and then right next door someone has a 2-story. And to be honest, like, I'm leaning towards building a raised bungalow just like the one to the south, because it seems like plenty of living space, because you actually create extra square footage in the basement. So that's fine. To me, I'm about building efficiently. I'm not looking to build some towering house. But I just haven't got to the design of anything yet because I need to create the lots first. But my point just being that just with the footprint alone, that's 1,300 square feet, which is adequate for a raised bungalow. If you were 800 square feet, well, then all of a sudden a raised bungalow doesn't sound like a great idea, right? But 1,320 is fine.
But if this was an adequate size lot to begin with, we wouldn't be here right now. So the lot is not huge. It's not zoned right now for the two size houses that you're looking for, which is why you're here asking for this amendment.
Right, but it's
So-
the thing, when you ask for an amendment or a minor variance, it's whether it's deemed minor in nature, right? And so for it to be 410 square meters, and then the other one to be 425.5 square meters, you know, that's majority of the required lot size. Yeah, it is a little small, but it's not crazy. It's not significantly small. It's just that actually what makes up the difference is how the lot lines fell in the back, really. And the fact that the one to the south has a little bit more backyard. But other than that, it's, you know, and again, at the 30% lot coverage, it's adequate.
Maybe for you, not for us neighbors, but thanks.
Well, I understand, but I see that you have another angle that you're looking at, right? You're looking at the traffic, and if the traffic is an issue, that's an issue in and of itself. I mean, whether there's going to be one
You're
driver.
going to add to that. So if we already have an issue with it that's not being dealt with, how is adding two more houses on a corner going to fix it?
Well,
We
it's not
live
gonna fix
here.
it, but
We live
it's
here, we have
that-
kids here. We have already like traffic and speeding and parking issues. So like adding another place. So on Christmas and holidays, if people have company over and the parking. So if there's one extra vehicle and they need to park on the road, you think that's safe turning on to Thunder Bay Road? Do you think people are going to be able to
But
see
again, that's
around them?
something we have to address with the.
It's a serious problem. It is a community with tons of foot traffic. It's
No,
not okay.
I can appreciate that. So if parking is on the street is a concern, then that's something we got to talk to the city about on having no parking on the street. If it's really dangerous, then there shouldn't be street parking.
Maybe so, but I mean, as of right now, it's not an issue. Adding two homes, that's going to be an issue.
I don't agree that is going to be.
You don't agree? Where you live, I'm going to come by, build a house right next to you and add everything there too. Like, obviously, I have a different outlook on it. I live here.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that it already is a building lot and it is oversized as it currently sits. And that's
It's
why
an oversized single lot, not double.
I know if it was a cut and clean double lot, then yeah, we wouldn't be sitting here right now. But it's very close to being according to R2 zoning with minor variance and it fits. So again, like I say, if the lot area was 300 square meters and it only justified at 30% a 600 square foot home, then yeah, I would agree that it shouldn't go on there, but it does fit. A 1,300 square foot house is a reasonable size house, and that's at 30%. So 70% of that lot is green space. 70%.
So these houses don't have garages?
That's part of the footprint, like what fits on there.
I don't know. And then across the street, you have R1 zoning. So-
I don't know. I've never looked across the street at what. the
Yeah, no,
zoning
that's correct. It is R1 zone across the street.
So you have R1 across the street all the way down to the arena. And then now we're cramming in these houses basically on an oversized single lot. Like, I know you say this over and over, we'll have to deal with the traffic, but I don't think the traffic has been properly dealt with before the existing subdivision here. You have people backing out of their driveways into the three-way stop intersection at Far and Ridge Road. And now we're going to have more people backing out into basically another intersection at Thunder Bay and Ridge South. So if you can figure out a safe way between Thunder Bay and Far Road to make this all happen, and the amount of footprint of people walking in this community here is crazy. And you have schools and all the crossing and everything else.
Yeah, so like I say, I think that's a bigger issue that needs to be addressed. But again, it's a residential building lot, and again, I'm applying to have it where it's two lots. I understand it doesn't help your cause, but I think your cause is a bigger issue that needs to be solved in a bigger way. Like whether it's, not allowing street parking on Ridge Road, so be it, but it's the thing that, yeah, these will have 2 driveways. So it's going to have cars in the driveway. So I understand it will add, let's say 4 vehicles to the scenario there, but it sounds like the scenario you're talking about is a lot bigger than 4 vehicles.
Well, it most certainly doesn't need another house added to the situation.
I appreciate your concern, and I would, I hope that through this process that, it gets addressed in the way of how it could really be solved.
As well as during construction, no parking on the road.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Introducing.
Yeah, I really do a lot of infill projects, and I try and always work as well as possible with the neighbors. I understand it's never enjoyable, and you've just gone through it with the Thunder Bay homes being under construction for what, a couple of
Okay,
years.
excuse me, I have a neighbor that just came here. She just wants to talk to you briefly.
Hi, my name's Carolyn Hurst, and I live at 31 Ridge Road South, which is the first house on past Far. And they'll be directly across from me. Now, I know you've told Bailey, but I want to know the frontage of in feet of each lot. There's going to be 2 lots, I take it.
Okay, yeah, so part 2, so the part that is most, the southern part, not at the corner, that is 15.03 meters, so I'll convert that here.
Ask him if he will be asking for any variances.
Okay, so that's 50 feet is part 2, 50-foot frontage. And then how they calculate with that triangle on part 1 at the corner, because there's already, as we mentioned, a triangle that's accounted for the town owns, so that there's adequate vision. So the way they calculate that number, it's 10.94 as the frontage for part 1. But second here. So that comes in at 35, almost 36 feet. However, the further back you go on the lot, the wider the lot gets.
Yeah, I saw it on the little sketch you mailed to us, but to me, there's not a single house on Ridge Road, north or south, with that kind of frontage. Not a single house. Our frontage and Bailey's frontage, mine is 150 feet. Hers is how much?
Over 100, 120.
120.
But the one to the south, the frontage is 50 feet.
No, we're talking across the street.
Across the street.
Across the street, yeah, right, because it's a different zoning. So this conversation about those details, that's back when they created this subdivision in the first place. They created it with the R2 zoning requirements, right? So yours is R1. They created this as R2.
And why should it change? What's the purpose of it changing except for crushing 2 more homes in a tiny small lot? They can't possibly, 10 meters can't possibly hold a house and a garage. It'll just be a house. There'll be no garage.
Again, the 10-meter one, though, it's because of the triangle and how it's accounted for. The lot area is actually bigger. The lot area is actually 425.5 meters squared.
You have to get a driveway in there.
Yeah, a driveway would fit on the south lot line and stay, as far as possible away from the intersection.
South lot line.
Yeah, so the lot, so part 1, the lot line that'll separate it from part 2.
You mean
pull up the sketch again, or
the driveway would be coming out on
No,
Thunder Bay Road?
they're both coming
No,
on.
Ridge Road.
Well, it has to come through that only 10-meter area.
But but 10 meters is, like I say, like it's
40
what?
feet.
Yeah, 36 feet. So a
Oh.
driveway only needs to be,
Single
like
car.
depends. A single driveway, 15 feet,
So 4 cars that he said.
So you're gonna have two, the houses aren't gonna be attached, they're gonna be two single homes?
Two single, single homes. Yeah.
Huge.
And, I mean, what kind of, are you putting up just a basic, vinyl house or?
In line with the rest of the neighborhood. Like I'm not like looking to build something that's going to be some, ultra contemporary and stand out like a sore thumb. No, like to totally be in line with the surrounding subdivision there.
And both units will, both homes will have garages.
As far as I know, they will. Yeah. I mean, again,
Well, as far as you know, that when they go to build it and they say, oh, a garage doesn't fit here. And then you change your mind and say, well, we're gonna build it and leave the garage off. Then we're looking at people piling all their stuff outside.
Yeah, no, and at this point, I can't say without a doubt there would absolutely be garages, but I can't see why there wouldn't be. And again, according to the footprint and the percentage, there's adequate space to have garages.
To me, it sounds like a very poor plan when all the homes around here are, like I said, 120, 150
50
feet.
and 50.
But again, that's the zoning. Back when they created the subdivision, they made it different zoning. So that your side of the street is completely different in zoning setbacks and requirements than this side of the street. And that's just the reality. Like, I mean, when I bought the lot, it was zoned R2. And those are the,
It's zoned R2, it's not zoned R1?
No, your side is R1, this side is R2.
But it's an oversized single lot, not a double.
So what you're asking for is them to sever that lot into 2 lots.
Yeah, and both would be R2, but with specific requirements that they are not right to the full size. They're about 100 meters, square meters less than the current R2 requirement.
Find a bigger
And how long, I mean, are you gonna put the homes at the very back of the lots?
In line with the other homes along the street there on Ridge, in line, like they wouldn't be any more forward, and I can't see them going any further back. So to be in line is what would be the objective. Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
all I can say is, I'm building to fit the neighborhood there, the R2 neighborhood, to be in line with it.
I don't think there's any 36-foot lots on the R2 neighborhood.
But again, the 36-foot, that lot is actually bigger than, it's 425 square meters.
It's deeper.
It's just the frontage because of the triangle at the intersection. So the frontage is less because of that.
It's a corner lot, so the town owns half of the corner.
And what do you have to get any variances to build these houses?
Well, like, I think that's part of this process right now is because there are these minor variances, and that's why I need to go through this process.
What
Is
are
that
the
right?
What are the minor variances?
Well, again, so minor in the fact that the lot area isn't
Okay.
to the number required by R2, and the frontage on part one is less than the R2 frontage. So those are the two that I'm aware of.
Yeah, so just to clarify Carolyn's question there, yeah, so you're not proposing any changes to the regulations for dwellings, Mike, is that correct?
Right. So I'm not like, yeah, all the setbacks, according to my calculations, all the setbacks can be met. It's really only in the severance process of the frontage for part one and the lot area for each lot.
Well, see, and also is a concern because I've lived in Ridgeway 41 years, and at this residence a little over a year. I've seen houses built, not houses, they were townhomes that didn't even have driveway. They built them too close to the road and they couldn't even get a single car in the driveway and not be on town property. So my concern is someone starts building something, then the town has to play catch up with them because they've done something that can't be changed.
Yeah, and again, that's not the intent here at all. The lot, when we take the percentage of the lot area, according to the R2, that it's adequate size houses, leaving 70% of the lot not built on.
What would be the market value of these homes that are being built?
Well, I can't say. I mean, by the time they're built, that you know,
I mean, if they're going to be built this year, correct?
Well, this process is going to take a little while, and then you know then there'd be the building permit application process, and then actually getting a shovel in the ground. So, yeah, I mean, I think I'd like to have them built within a year from now.
But you don't know the approximate value of these homes?
Not a year from now, but right now, yeah. But I don't know how that quite applies to this process.
Well,
we want to know, is our property value going to go down?
Oh, your property value is not going down. Like right now, there's a vacant lot sitting there in a fully residential area. Like there's no reason why this is going to take away from the value of your property.
Just a question: why would you buy a vacant lot? No, like, and if you wanted, like, if a vacant lot for one house, if you knew you're going to buy two houses, why here? Well, like, why not find another lot to do this?
I look all over the region for, you know, adequate scenarios that can handle more housing. So, I mean, it's, again, if it was a huge stretch where it just didn't work, then I wouldn't even be going through the process. But like,
you're aware when you bought this, it was for a single dwelling. It's an oversized lot for one home.
That's how it sits today. Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So you were aware of that when you purchased it.
Yeah. I don't really get the point of the order of the question. Like,
because you don't see the point of putting two houses on a small lot.
And then profit for you.
It doesn't benefit us in any way.
Well, all I can say is, you know, it's going to meet the style of the R2 neighborhood, and it's going to, like, in the end, it's going to look, when you look from the street,
it's congested.
It's going to have the same look as all the others in a row. They're going to be built in line. They're going to be the same setbacks on side yards, same setback from the road, like same in every which way, except, yeah, two houses.
I guess I can't comprehend why you would buy a lot knowing that it's a single residential lot, and now you need to build two. Other than
sometimes we buy houses and we buy a couple houses and knock them down and build three houses because
I guess this isn't the place to do it. This is not the place to do it.
The government's focus on how to create it's in the urban boundary. You can't just go out and buy a farm field and go put 20 houses on it.
Seems like
That's what I'd be doing right now. but you can't.
Well, they bought a golf course and put 100
I
out.
know. Yeah, because people aren't golfing as much as they need houses, I guess. Yeah.
I guess, you bought a single lot, just why can't you build one nice house on it?
Yeah, it's
It's just not profitable for you, like,
underutilized.
We don't want to turn into Toronto. Like, you guys are ramming so many houses into little areas that it's getting I don't want nobody wants to live here anymore because you guys just keep building and building.
you're taking away the desire of living in this community.
The whole point of living here is because we had a small community and everyone knew each other. And we felt reasonably safe with our children playing in the front yard. And now that's not going to happen. They're going to have to be.
Hey, I can appreciate those concerns, but it, again, according to this meeting and the purpose, these are all bigger picture things. Like, these are when Mountain View decided to build that whole neighborhood, like, that's where you could have been saying, no, we would just want this to be green grass over here, because like, that's the thing. It's in the urban boundary.
But now we have a voice, and now we're voicing our opinion.
Well, no, and I appreciate it. I just feel like it's falling on me where it's like I'm building.
Because it's not necessary. I would love for you to come hang out here during the week in the morning and see how busy it is.
I drive that section. I just built a couple houses in Crystal Beach. I drove that route and passed that corner for the last year.
I'm not asking you to pass by it. I'm asking you to come hang out with me at the bus stop every morning and just see.
I've been by when the bus is going by. Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, and just to jump in here, because we're running out of time for this meeting. This was like just a preliminary meeting to sort of get some feedback from members of the public, such as yourself. So there will be a formal public meeting held before council. That date hasn't been quite locked in yet, but as soon as we do know, I'll be in contact with all of you to let you know. And certainly, as you mentioned, Bailey, the intent of this process is to get feedback from the public. So you can attend that meeting, you could speak directly to council, or if you're not comfortable with that, you could send in emails, comments by email. And we do forward that to council as well as include any written comments in our report to council, just to give you a kind of a outline of the process, the next step, if you will.
Okay,
All right.
so can I respond to the email that I wrote to earlier, the Daryl Vanderveen?
Yeah, that's me. Sorry, I forgot to change my name on here. Yeah. So I'm the lead on the file. So feel free to email if you want to chat about it further. We can set up a phone discussion. That's fine. And
Okay, thanks, Daryl.
Yeah. All right, and Mike, sorry, I'm just going to bring on Yasmin really quickly. I know we're over time, but I'm just going to give her my contact info. So we kind of ran out of time for her. She has another question or comment, but
okay.
One sec. Hi there, Yasmin. Did you have any other super quick questions for us or comments?
Yeah, whether you build one or two, I really appreciate it if you stick with the style and not go 2-story or 3-story. I really would, because I'm literally the house next door. I would really appreciate that, whether it's you building one or two. Also, my other question is, this lot was also subject to another permit maybe 4 or 5 years ago. 7 years ago. Is that still valid as well in conjunction with what he's asking?
There was minor
Maybe about 7 years ago, there was another special permit about.
Someone was asking to build the driveway on Thunder Bay and back into us.
So is that still?
Okay, yeah, just, I don't know if you guys caught that part. Sorry to interrupt you. We do have a 1-foot reserve along Thunder Bay Road. So even as it stands today, the driveway of a dwelling would have to connect to Ridge Road South. To connect to Thunder Bay Road, the town would actually have to lift that 1-foot reserve. And I'll check with our engineering staff, but my thought is the reason that was put there is so there's no driveway connection to Thunder Bay Road for that lot.
Okay, and I really would appreciate it if you stick with the style of the Ridge Road South, like the same side you're building. I don't want to be next to two giant homes that don't, I honestly don't know how you're gonna fit them there, but you tell me you can. I have no idea. I look at that lot for the last 10 years every day. There's no way, but I just appreciate if they're just bungalows or absolutely not 2-story or 3-story. I would
Yeah,
appreciate that.
definitely take that into account. Like, again, there's the previous people, their concerns parking. So, a big priority would be making sure garage is in there. So that, that affects things too. But again, like, I mean, I just finishing building something now in St. Catharines, and even there to accommodate the neighbor, we actually went out of our way to not have any windows on their side. So I can't guarantee things like that, but I'm definitely always trying to be mindful of the scenario and not just come in and do whatever and leave. It's build things that are fitting and look appropriate and function appropriately. So
Because I'm using my whole side of light. I just don't want to have like overshadow and just looking like funny looking because I have two giant houses next to me. That's all I ask
no, I
for.
appreciate that. Yep.
Thank you.
And Yasmin, do you have my email address or no?
No, I can get it from Bailey, no problem.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, feel free to, as I mentioned to Bailey, submit comments, and again, we will have another public meeting. This one will be before council, similar to this, but council will be actively participating. And if you wish to join that, you can join in and actually provide your comments directly to council. So I'll be in touch as soon as we lock in a date for that public meeting. And you'll be getting notice in the mail of it as well. All right, thanks, Yasmin. Mike, I think I'm gonna end here for tonight.